The entertainment world has been rocked once again, and this time, the drama is bigger, louder, and messier than anyone could have imagined. Picture this, one of the most feared names in hip-hop history, Suge Knight, still commanding attention. From behind bars, suddenly unleashes a fiery message aimed directly at none other than Drake. Yes, you heard that right. The legendary mogul just told the Toronto superstar that he is officially done, and as if that wasn't enough chaos, whispers are spreading that Drake was humiliated and booed at a hotel in front of shocked fans and industry insiders. Emotions ran high, voices were raised, and the fallout has left social media in absolute meltdown. Was this just another petty feud in rap's long list of beefs, or is this the beginning of a war that could tear the industry apart? Fans are already choosing sides, celebrities are dropping cryptic posts, and the streets are buzzing with speculation. One thing's for sure, when Suge Knight speaks, people listen, and when Drake gets booed, the world takes notice. Stay tuned, because what happened next will leave you speechless. The night the news broke, it felt like the entire hip-hop world stopped breathing. Fans scrolling on their phones couldn't believe their eyes. Suge Knight, the once untouchable powerhouse of the West Coast, had reportedly sent out a voice note from prison, a raw and unfiltered warning directed at Drake. In the clip that began circulating, Suge's gravelly tone cut like a blade through the silence. He's done. I don't care who's protecting him, I don't care how big he thinks he is. He's done. Within minutes, chaos erupted online. The whispers grew louder, the hashtags started trending, and people wanted answers. Why now? Why Drake? And what did Suge Knight know that the rest of the world didn't? But the drama didn't end with just words. Less than 24 hours later, reports surfaced that Drake was spotted at an upscale hotel, expecting to make a surprise appearance for a private afterparty. The night was supposed to be about flashing lights, luxury champagne, and carefully curated exclusivity. But instead, it turned into one of the most humiliating evenings of his career. As soon as he entered the lavish hotel ballroom, dressed head to toe in designer, fans who once screamed his name suddenly turned cold. A wave of jeers erupted from the back of the room, growing louder until they drowned out the music. Boos rained down, sharp and unrelenting. Witnesses claimed Drake froze for a moment, caught off guard by the venom in the crowd. Is this a joke? Drake reportedly muttered under his breath to his entourage. His close friend leaning in whispered frantically, "Just play it off. Keep walking, don't let them see it got to you." But it was too late. Cameras were everywhere, capturing the disbelief on his face. The clips went viral instantly, showing a superstar who, for the first time in years, looked vulnerable. Behind the booze, the tension was personal. Whispers suggested that Suge Knight's message had emboldened old rivals, turning the crowd against Drake in an unexpected show of defiance. Some fans even shouted lines like, "It's over, Champagne Poppy," and "Suge runs this forever." Others claimed they saw industry figures nodding in satisfaction as the scene unfolded. Backstage, emotions ran high. One of Drake's team members slammed his fist against the wall, shouting, "This isn't random, man. Someone set this up. This was planned." Another added, "It's Suge. It has to be Suge pulling strings, even from the inside." Drake tried to brush it off, insisting, "I'm untouchable. They can boo me today, but they'll be streaming me tomorrow." Still, those closest to him admitted they could see the cracks forming. His eyes told a different story, one of quiet humiliation and creeping doubt. As the word spread, fans online split into camps. Some defended Drake fiercely, calling the boos disrespectful and blaming opportunistic haters trying to ride Suge Knight's shadow. Others claimed it was karma, pointing to past controversies and accusations against Drake. "The king finally got humbled," one comment read. Suge Knight's words hit harder than a diss track. Meanwhile, insiders hinted that this was only the beginning. Suge Knight, though behind bars, still had a network of loyalists who operated with precision. According to one unnamed source, Suge has always known how to shake the game without even leaving his cell. This move against Drake isn't random. It's the start of something much bigger. He's sending a message to everyone in the industry: no one is too big to fall. The hotel incident only poured fuel on the fire. Days later, rumors emerged that Drake had canceled an appearance at a high-profile event in Los Angeles, fearing another ambush of boos or worse. "He's paranoid now," one insider said. "He doesn't know who's with him or against him." People he thought were friends are staying quiet. The silence is louder than the boos. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Reports leaked of a heated phone call between Drake and a fellow artist, someone close enough to him to know his deepest insecurities. Allegedly, Drake's voice broke during the call as he confessed, "I don't know if I can keep this up. They're turning on me. If Suge's got people moving against me, I can't fight that alone." The response on the other end of the line was chilling. "You knew this day would come," the artist replied. "You played too many sides for too long. Now the game's collecting its debt." The betrayal cut deep. Who was this mystery caller? And why were they siding with Suge Knight's shadow influence instead of supporting Drake in his darkest hour? Fans began speculating wildly. Names of longtime collaborators and former friends trended online, with theories piling up like wildfire. Family members, too, were drawn into the storm. Drake's mother, often his most vocal supporter, was said to be devastated. One insider close to her revealed, "She's heartbroken." She told him, "They can't break you, Aubrey. You've been through worse," but even she knows this is different. This isn't just about music or fame. This feels like an attack on his entire legacy. The drama escalated further when old enemies of Drake resurfaced, gleefully fanning the flames. Cryptic tweets began appearing from rappers he had clashed with in the past. One posted simply, "Night moves," a thinly veiled nod to Suge's hand in the situation. Another wrote, "Ain't no sympathy when the boos start raining." Fans ate it up, dissecting every word for hidden meanings and alliances. Yet behind the noise, something darker was brewing. Sources close to Suge Knight claimed he had more than just words planned. "Suge doesn't play with empty threats," one said. "If he says Drake is done, he's already set things in motion. He always plays the long game, and the long game is already unfolding." With each passing day, Drake found himself more isolated. Friends who once filled his private jet with laughter now avoided his calls. The industry elite, sensing danger, began distancing themselves. And all the while, the memory of that humiliating hotel booing haunted him like a ghost. He couldn't escape doubt that the real bombshell had yet to drop. Hidden behind whispers, backstage gossip, and encrypted phone calls was a truth that threatened to unravel everything Drake had built. And just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, a shocking piece of information surfaced that linked Suge Knight's warning to something far more personal. The shocking piece of information that surfaced left even the most seasoned industry insiders stunned. According to whispers from someone claiming to be connected to Suge Knight's circle, the feud wasn't about music charts or rap dominance at all. It was personal. The source insisted that years ago, long before Drake was the global superstar he is today, he crossed a line that Suge never forgot. The rumor was explosive. Apparently, Drake had once made a backroom deal involving rights to an unreleased track tied to Suge's old label. The deal, insiders claimed, was shady and left people in Suge's camp feeling betrayed. At the time, Drake's career was skyrocketing, and he allegedly brushed off their concerns, assuming Suge was too distracted with legal battles to ever retaliate. But Suge Knight was not a man who forgot. He may have been behind bars, but his memory and his influence remained razor sharp. When this rumor leaked, fans were shocked. Some defended Drake, insisting the story was nothing but gossip spun to tear him down. Others, however, began connecting dots. Old interviews were dug up, where Suge cryptically mentioned young cats in the game thinking they slick. Suddenly, those vague comments felt like a direct shot at Drake. In the middle of this storm, Drake's inner circle began fracturing. One of his closest collaborators, someone who had worked with him since the early mixtape days, reportedly confronted him during a late-night studio session. The atmosphere was tense. "Tell me the truth, Aubrey," the friend demanded, his voice trembling with both anger and hurt. "Did you really cut that deal behind their backs? Did you think you could play both sides and no one would ever find out?" Drake, exhausted and defensive, snapped back. "You think I'd still be here if I didn't make moves like that? This industry eats you alive if you're not ahead. I did what I had to do. The silence that followed was deafening. The collaborator shook his head, muttering, "So it's true. And now we're all paying for it." He stormed out, leaving Drake staring at the door, realizing he might have just lost one of the few People who truly had his back. Word of the confrontation spread quickly, and the media had a field day. Headlines screamed about betrayal in the OVO camp, painting Drake as both mastermind and victim. Fans flooded social media with divided opinions, some praising his ruthlessness, others condemning his choices. "He played with fire," one fan tweeted, "and now Suge Knight is bringing the blaze." Meanwhile, the hotel booing incident continued to snowball. Videos were remixed, memes were everywhere, and even late-night comedians joined the pile-on, mocking Drake's stunned expression as he faced the crowd. But beneath the laughter, a darker undercurrent lingered. Sources claimed that the booing wasn't spontaneous at all. It was orchestrated. One witness revealed that several individuals in the crowd were paid to start the jeers, ensuring the humiliation went viral. "It was too perfect," the witness said. "Too loud, too synchronized. This wasn't random fans turning on him. This was planned sabotage." The question became, who funded it? And all signs pointed back to Suge's loyalists. As if things weren't complicated enough, family tensions began bubbling to the surface. Drake's father, known for his candid opinions, was reportedly furious at how his son was handling the situation. During a heated family dinner, he allegedly told Drake, "You're letting them walk all over you. You think running and hiding is gonna fix this? If you don't fight back, they're gonna bury you." Drake's response was icy. "You don't understand, Dad. This isn't just a fight. This is Suge Knight. And no one wins when Suge decides you're done." His father slammed his glass on the table, muttering, "Maybe you're not as strong as you think you are." The room fell into silence, the fracture between father and son deepening under the weight of external pressure. In the industry, alliances shifted overnight. Producers who once bragged about working with Drake suddenly grew quiet. Collaborators postponed sessions without explanation. Drake's team noticed the pattern immediately. People were scared. Scared of being caught in the crossfire of Suge Knight's shadow war. Then came another unexpected twist. A rival rapper, long known for feuding with Drake, suddenly came forward with his own story. In a candid livestream, he smirked and declared, "I warned y'all years ago. I told you he was making deals behind people's backs. Now Suge Knight's proving me right. The empire built on lies always crumbles." The livestream went viral, with fans dissecting every smirk, every pause, every insinuation. Some believed the rival was exaggerating for clout, while others saw it as undeniable confirmation that Drake's kingdom was built on shaky ground. Emotions ran high among fans. In Toronto, groups of supporters gathered outside one of Drake's favorite restaurants, chanting his name in solidarity. But across Los Angeles, the atmosphere was different, colder, filled with whispers and knowing nods. "He's losing his grip," one fan outside a club muttered. "The boos were just the start. This is only going to get uglier." Behind the scenes, Drake's mother pleaded with him to take a break. "You need to step away before this destroys. You," she begged, "go somewhere safe out of the spotlight." Let the storm pass, but Drake was torn. Walking away felt like admitting defeat, like handing victory to Suge Knight. Yet staying in the spotlight meant exposing himself to more humiliation and attacks. His nights grew sleepless, haunted by the echo of those boos and the chilling certainty in Suge's words. "He's done." And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't spiral any further, a leaked recording surfaced online. It was grainy, but the voices were clear. Suge Knight himself, speaking from a prison phone, laughing as he said, "He thought he could outsmart me. He thought I'd forget. But now he knows. They all know. The game don't forgive, and I don't forget." The recording exploded across every platform, confirming what many feared. Suge wasn't just talking. He was orchestrating. And Drake was at the center of a storm bigger than anyone had anticipated. As the clip spread like wildfire, Drake reportedly threw his phone across the room in rage. "How the hell is he still running this from prison?" he shouted. His team exchanged nervous glances, none of them daring to answer. The silence said it all. Suge Knight's reach was longer than anyone wanted to admit. But then, out of nowhere, came an even darker revelation. Whispers emerged that someone inside Drake's own team might have been feeding information to Suge's network, keeping him one step ahead. Paranoia spread quickly, trust shattered, and suddenly everyone in Drake's circle became a suspect. And as Drake sat alone in his mansion, Staring out at the city skyline, he realized a truth that chilled him to his core. The booze, the betrayals, the rumors, they were only symptoms of something far more dangerous. Suge Knight's game wasn't just about ending his career. It was about dismantling everything Drake thought was uncheckable. Piece by piece, and the first shocking sign of who the mole might be was about to surface in the most unexpected way. The first shocking sign of who the mole might be came late one night when Drake's security chief stumbled upon something strange. While reviewing footage from inside the mansion, he noticed a member of Drake's inner circle sneaking off into the guest house, phone pressed tightly to his ear. Normally, that wouldn't be suspicious, but this was different. The man was speaking in hushed tones, pacing nervously, repeating one phrase over and over. "Yeah, I told him." He's rattled. "Don't worry, he'll fold soon." When the security chief played the recording for Drake, his hands trembled. "This is someone you trust," he whispered. "Someone close. Someone feeding information straight into Suge Knight's hands." Drake's blood ran cold as he recognized the voice. It wasn't just a friend. It was someone who had been with him since the very beginning, someone he considered family. "No," Drake muttered, his voice breaking. "It can't be him, not him." But denial couldn't erase the truth. The mole was exposed. An old confidant, a man who had shared stages, hotel rooms, and victories with Drake. And now, it seemed, he was sharing secrets too. Word of the betrayal spread quickly through the camp. Emotions ran high. One of Drake's producers exploded in rage, slamming his laptop shut and shouting, "We let him eat with us. We gave him everything, and this is how he pays us back. He sold us out to Suge Knight." Others were quieter, their faces heavy with sorrow, realizing the betrayal cut deeper than any diss track ever could. Drake, however, wasn't ready to go public. Instead, he arranged a private confrontation. It happened in a dimly lit studio, away from cameras and curious eyes. When the mole walked in, Drake sat in silence, staring at him for what felt like an eternity. Finally, he spoke. "Tell me why," Drake whispered. "After everything, why would you betray me?" The man shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting to the floor. "You changed, Aubrey," he finally said. "You forgot who was with you before the money, before the fame." "Suge, he understands loyalty. He doesn't forget his people. You? You forgot me the second you didn't need me anymore." Drake's jaw tightened, his anger simmering beneath the surface. "So you sold me out to the same man who's trying to bury me? That's your idea of loyalty?" The mole's voice rose. "No, that's my idea of survival. Suge still runs this game whether you want to admit it or not. And when he said you were done, I believed him." The confrontation ended. With no resolution, Drake's team cut ties immediately, but the damage was irreversible. The betrayal had already spread doubt through every corner of Drake's empire. If one of his own could turn, who else? Closeness of the relationship. Another wrote, "This is deeper than music. This is betrayal at the highest level." And while Drake was reeling from this personal devastation, Suge Knight's influence only grew stronger. Another recording leaked, this time featuring a chilling conversation between Suge and an unknown associate. Suge laughed, saying, "You see, I don't even have to move a finger. His own people will destroy him for me." That line, "his own people will destroy him," became the new viral quote, repeated endlessly in captions, memes, and videos. It was almost prophetic, as though Suge Knight had orchestrated the betrayal long before it ever came to light. The fallout reached Drake's fans directly. During a pop-up event in New York, tensions boiled over when a group of supporters clashed with critics outside the venue. One side chanted "OVO forever," while the other screamed "Knight moves." FISTS flew, police intervened, and the scene became another viral spectacle tied to the feud. The industry, watching closely, began to take sides. Some artists publicly supported Drake, posting messages of solidarity. Others, however, stayed silent or dropped subtle hints of allegiance to Suge's camp. One major producer tweeted simply, "The empire's cracking," fueling speculation that Drake's reign at the top was in serious jeopardy. And while fans argued online, Drake himself sank deeper into paranoia. He began suspecting everyone. Assistants, drivers, even security guards. "They're all watching me," he muttered one night to his mother. "They're all waiting to cash me out to Suge." His mother tried to comfort him, but the fear had already taken root. Sleepless nights turned into long days of silence, where he refused to leave his mansion, refused to answer calls. Every time his phone buzzed, he wondered if it was another leak, another betrayal, another dagger to the heart. Then, as if things couldn't spiral any further, another twist hit like a thunderclap. An anonymous account leaked documents suggesting that Suge Knight's associates were preparing to release a tell-all expose about Drake. The documents hinted at unreleased footage, private conversations, and contracts that could damage not just his career but his reputation forever. Panic rippled through Drake's team. One manager screamed, "If this gets out, it's not just about booze or beefs anymore. It's about legacy. They'll erase him." Another added, "Suge's not trying to end his career with words. He's trying to burn down everything he ever built." Drake, holding the leaked documents in his hands, whispered, "He wants to erase me like I never existed." As the expose loomed, fans speculated wildly. What could be so damaging that it would make even Drake tremble? Theories ranged from financial scandals to personal betrayals to hidden collaborations with rivals. The uncertainty made the drama even juicier, and the internet thrived on the chaos. But there was one thing no one expected. In the middle of this madness, an unlikely figure stepped forward, someone who had once been one of Drake's biggest enemies. This person, shocking everyone, reached out privately with a warning. They're not just coming for your career, they're coming for your life. The words sent chills through Drake's camp. If true, this feud wasn't just about music anymore. It was something darker, more dangerous. And just as Drake tried to process this terrifying possibility, a black SUV was spotted circling his mansion late at night, headlights cutting through the darkness. His security scrambled, hearts pounding, but when they rushed outside, the SUV was gone, vanished into the night, leaving only tire marks on the pavement. Drake sat in his living room, staring at the tracks through the window. His voice cracked as he whispered to himself, "This isn't just beef. This is war." And little did he know, the war was about to claim its first casualty. The first casualty of this war arrived faster than anyone could have predicted. Just days after the black SUV incident, one of Drake's longtime associates was found beaten outside a Los Angeles nightclub. Bruised and barely conscious, he whispered only one thing before collapsing. They said, "It's Suge's message." The news hit Drake like a hammer. This wasn't just rumor, wasn't just humiliation in a hotel ballroom. It was flesh and blood. The image of his friend lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines, burned into his mind. Reporters swarmed the hospital, fans gathered outside with signs of support, and Drake's enemies laughed in the shadows. Inside the hospital room, emotions ran high. Drake stood by his friend's bedside, clenching his fists. "This is gone. Too far?" he muttered, voice low and trembling. His mother, standing beside him, touched his arm softly. "Aubrey, you can't fight violence with more violence. You have to be smarter." But Drake wasn't listening. Anger clouded everything. "He wanted me done," Drake said. "But now he's hurting my people. I can't let that stand." Word spread, fans were shocked. The line between music drama and real danger had officially been crossed. One fan tweeted, "This isn't beef anymore. This is survival." Another posted, "Drake vs. Suge Knight has gone from rap feud to crime saga." The industry's silence grew louder. Big names refused to comment. Event organizers quietly removed Drake from lineups. Behind the scenes, whispers suggested people feared retaliation if they stood too close to him. Drake, once the golden boy, was becoming radioactive. And then came the moment no one expected. A leaked phone call between Suge Knight and one of his alleged associates hit the internet. In it, Suge's voice was chillingly calm. "You take away the crowd, you take away the family, you take away the team. And what's left? Just a man standing alone." That's when he breaks. That's when the game is over. The clip spread like wildfire. "Just a man standing alone" became the new catchphrase, printed on memes, posted under every Drake photo, turned into viral soundbites on social media. Fans were divided, some mocked him, others rallied harder to defend him, but Drake himself felt the words cutting deep. Alone was exactly how he felt. Even inside his mansion, paranoia devoured him. He demanded round-the-clock security. He stopped leaving the house altogether. Meals were brought in, curtains stayed closed, and phones were checked for bugs. His Once vibrant home became a fortress of silence and suspicion. But then, in the middle of this isolation, came another twist. A message arrived, slipped under his gate in the dead of night. It was a single sheet of paper with 4 words scribbled across it. "The end is near." Drake's team panicked. "We need to call the police," one insisted. Another snapped, "The police can't stop Suge Knight's people. They don't play by those rules." Drake sat quietly, staring at the paper. "They want me scared," he said softly. "But they don't know. I've been scared my whole life." The message became the breaking point. Instead of retreating further, Drake decided to strike back. He arranged a secret meeting with a handful of allies still willing to stand by him. In a dimly lit studio, he told them, "If Suge Knight thinks I'm finished, then I'll remind the world why I became untouchable in the first place. I won't let booze define me. I won't let betrayal destroy me." The room buzzed with nervous energy. One ally warned, "If you go at Suge, you better not miss. He doesn't forgive." Drake nodded, determination hardening in his eyes. "Then I won't miss." Soon after, Drake teased a project online, a mysterious drop with cryptic artwork and a single caption, "You can't erase me." Fans went into frenzy. Some thought it was a diss record aimed directly at Suge Knight. Others speculated it was a documentary telling his side of the story. Whatever it was, the hype was undeniable. But behind the hype, danger still loomed. Rumors swirled that Suge's camp was preparing a counterstrike. Some claimed a bombshell exposed was set to drop any day, revealing hidden scandals that could shatter Drake's carefully crafted image. Tension reached a boiling point one night when Drake finally re-emerged in public. Against the advice of his team, he showed up at a downtown Los Angeles lounge. Walking in, something unexpected happened. Instead of booze, half the room erupted in cheers while the other half jeered louder than ever. The clash of sound was deafening. Fans shouting, "OVO forever," collided with voices screaming, "Knight runs this." The chaos spilled out into the street, where police were forced to intervene. Cars were overturned, glass shattered, and the city pulsed with raw energy. It wasn't just a feud anymore. It was a movement. Back inside the lounge, Drake stood at the center of it all, eyes blazing. He grabbed a mic and shouted over the noise, "You can boo me, you can betray me, you can try to erase me, but I'm still here." The crowd roared, half in support, half in fury. It was the perfect storm of adoration and hatred colliding in one unforgettable night. Social media exploded. Clips of Drake's outbursts flooded every platform. Fans were shocked, critics called it desperate, and insiders claimed it was reckless. "He just painted a target on his back," one source warned, and as if to prove that warning true, the very next day a cryptic post appeared on an account linked to Suge Knight's supporters. It was a photo of a chessboard with one piece toppled. Over captioned simply, "Checkmate." The post sent shockwaves through the industry. Was this Suge declaring victory? Or was it just another mind game meant to break Drake's spirit? No one knew for sure, but the tension was unbearable. Alone in his mansion that night, Drake sat staring at the glowing city skyline. His phone buzzed with messages, some from fans begging him to stay strong, others from allies warning him to disappear for a while. His hands shook as he scrolled through them. "They want me gone," he whispered. "But I can't give them that satisfaction." And just as he said it, another notification lit up his phone. It was an anonymous message with only 3 words, "They're coming tonight." Drake's heart raced. Security scrambled to lock down the mansion. Lights flickered, shadows stretched across the walls, and the sound of engines growled in the distance. Whether it was another scare tactic or the final move in Suge Knight's game, no one knew. But one thing was certain, the night was about to decide whether Drake truly was done, or if he had one last card to play. And so, as engines roared in the distance and shadows crept closer to Drake's mansion, the world held its breath. Was this just another scare, another move in Suge Knight's long game of psychological warfare? Or was this the night everything changed forever? No one knows what really happened behind those gates, but one thing is clear, the tension between Drake and Suge Knight has gone beyond music, beyond reputation, beyond simple rivalry. This is personal. This is war. Fans are left divided, some believing Drake will rise from the ashes stronger than ever, while others insist Suge has already written the final chapter of his career. Emotions ran high, families are fractured, alliances are shifting, and the industry is holding its silence in fear of what comes next. Is Drake truly done, as Suge declared? Or will he pull off the most shocking comeback in hip-hop history? What happens next could reshape the entire landscape of music. Every rumor, every leak, every confrontation feels like another step toward a dramatic climax none of us can predict. But one thing is certain, this story is far from over. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Drake can survive this storm, or has Suge Knight already sealed his fate? Is this all a grand setup to break him down, or is Drake playing a longer game of his own? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters in this conversation. And if you want to stay updated on every shocking twist and every behind-the-scenes revelation, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment of this unfolding saga. Buckle up, because the drama is only getting started.